Chris Brown's story is one of the most dramatic falls from grace in modern pop culture. Once hailed as the next Michael Jackson, a young R&B prodigy with endless potential, Brown's career has been overshadowed by a long, troubling history of violence and accusations. From his infamous 2009 assault on Rihanna, to lawsuits, arrests, and ongoing allegations stretching all the way into 2025, Chris Brown's legacy is defined as much by controversy as it is by music. In this video, we'll walk through the full timeline of Chris Brown's run-ins with the law, accusations of violence, and how it shaped his career and public image. Chris Brown burst onto the scene in 2005 with his debut self-titled album. Hits like Run It made him an overnight superstar. By the time his second album dropped in 2007, featuring the chart-topping single Kiss Kiss, critics were already calling him the king of R&B for his generation. But in February 2009, just one night before the Grammy Awards, everything changed. Brown's public image collapsed after a violent altercation with his then-girlfriend Rihanna. Photos of Rihanna's battered face spread worldwide. Brown was arrested, charged with felony assault, and eventually pled guilty. He was sentenced to 5 years probation, community service, and mandatory domestic violence counseling. Although he continued to release music, the stain of that night never left him. Rihanna herself would later say in interviews that the trauma remained real and could never be simply swept under the rug. 2 years later, while promoting his album FAME on Good Morning America, host Robin Roberts asked Brown about the assault. Instead of calmly answering, Brown stormed off the set and shuttered a window in his dressing room. That outburst reminded the world that his anger issues were far from resolved. From this point on, allegations seemed to follow Chris Brown almost yearly. In February 2012, in Miami, a woman accused Brown of stealing her phone. After she tried to snap a picture of him outside a club, she filed a police report for robbery. In June 2012, Brown got into a nightclub brawl with rapper Drake in New York City. 8 people were injured, including NBA star Tony Parker. In January 2013, he allegedly punched Frank Ocean in a fight over a parking space. Osho chose not to press charges. In June 2013, a woman accused Brown of shoving her to the ground at a club in Orange County, claiming she needed knee surgery. In October 2013, Brown was arrested in Washington, D.C. for felony assault after breaking a man's nose. He spent 36 hours in jail before the charge was reduced to a misdemeanor. In 2014, Brown entered rehab for anger management, but was kicked out for violent behavior, including smashing his mother's car window. He was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder and PTSD. In September 2015, during a video shoot in Colorado, a woman claimed Brown forcibly removed her from his tour bus and broke her phone. She filed a report for third-degree assault. In January 2016, a woman in Las Vegas accused Brown of punching her in the face at a private party. Police decided not to press charges. In May 2016, Brown's former manager Mike G accused him of a brutal assault. His tour manager, Nancy Gosh, later claimed Brown threatened her too. In August 2016, Brown was arrested in Los Angeles after a woman claimed he threatened her with a gun. Police surrounded his home during a tense standoff. By this point, the pattern was clear. Chris Brown was no longer just a troubled star. He was a magnet for violent incidents. The accusations did not stop. In 2017, actress and model Karrueche Tran, Brown's ex, filed for a restraining order, claiming he had physically abused her. A judge later granted the order. In 2018, a woman sued Brown for sexual battery and assault, alleging she was attacked at his home. The case was settled privately. In 2019, in Paris, Brown was detained after another woman accused him of aggravated rape. He denied the allegations and later sued her for defamation when the investigation was dropped. Even as Brown continued touring and releasing music, accusations and lawsuits kept coming. In 2021, his housekeeper filed a lawsuit claiming his dog viciously attacked her sister. Later that year, police were called after a woman claimed she was hit in the back of the head at his home. In 2022, a woman filed a $20 million lawsuit accusing Brown of drugging and raping her on a yacht. The case was dismissed, but the allegation drew massive headlines. In 2023, Brown was sued after allegedly assaulting music producer Abe Dio in a London nightclub with crushing blows and in 2024. Four concert-goers filed a $50 million lawsuit against Brown and his entourage for violent assault backstage. A staff member also sued for $15 million, claiming he was injured while trying to protect them. In May 2025, Chris Brown was arrested again in Manchester, England, accused of grievous bodily harm in connection to the nightclub bottle incident from 2023. He pleaded not guilty and is scheduled to face trial in 2026. And if that wasn't enough, Brown has launched a massive $500 million lawsuit against Warner Brothers Discovery. He claims their History of Violence documentary about him was defamatory and filled with false allegations over the last 16 years. Chris Brown's name has been tied to a staggering number of violent incidents, lawsuits, and accusations. Some cases were dropped, others settled, and some still pending. But the consistent theme is impossible to ignore. Chris Brown's public life has been defined by allegations of abuse, anger, and violence, particularly toward women. Despite this, his music career has survived. He still sells out shows, still charts hits, and still has a dedicated fan base. But his reputation will forever be clouded. For many, he is a cautionary tale, proof that talent and fame don't erase accountability. This has been the full timeline of Chris Brown's long history of violence and allegations, stretching from 2009 all the way to 2025. What do you think? Has Chris Brown been unfairly targeted? Or has his repeated behavior proven he hasn't changed? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives into the untold stories of music and culture.